Good morning, everyone. I'm Jennifer Parker, and today's update about the 2025 stimulus checks could be a game changer for millions of Americans. If you've been waiting for news about additional financial support, you'll want to pay close attention to what I'm about to share. The information I have impacts not just the amount you might receive, but also introduces some surprising new eligibility criteria that could mean more money in your pocket. Just yesterday, I spoke with Maria, one of our regular viewers, who was absolutely stunned when she learned about these changes. Like many of you, she thought the stimulus program was winding down. But these new developments tell a completely different story. What's particularly interesting is how these updates affect different income brackets. And I'll be breaking down exactly what this means for you and your family. The most exciting part? Some households could be eligible for significantly larger payments than previous rounds. And there are new provisions specifically designed for seniors and those on fixed incomes. In the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through everything we know about these new developments, including the exact dates you need to mark on your calendar, how to ensure you don't miss out on any payments you're entitled to, and some little known details that most news outlets aren't talking about yet. I've spent hours analyzing these changes to bring you the most accurate and up-to-date information available. Before we dive into all the details, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of my daily stimulus updates. If you know someone who could benefit from this information, please share this video with them. It could make a real difference in their financial situation. And drop a comment below letting me know which state you're watching from. I'd love to address any specific state-related questions in the comments. Now, let's get into these exciting updates. Let's dive right into these major developments that could impact your financial future. First, I want to address the most significant change that has everyone talking: the new tiered payment system for the 2025 stimulus checks. Unlike previous rounds, where most people received a flat amount, this new approach is designed to provide more targeted assistance based on various factors, including household size, income levels, and specific needs of different demographic groups. I recently spoke with Tom, a retired firefighter from Michigan, who was particularly interested in how these changes would affect seniors living on fixed incomes. Like many of you, he was concerned about rising costs and whether this new stimulus package would provide meaningful assistance. What I discovered in my research actually surprised both of us. The new provisions include specific considerations for retirees that weren't present in previous stimulus rounds. Something particularly interesting about this new package is how it addresses the needs of different generations within the same household. I've been getting lots of questions from viewers who live in multi-generational homes, wondering how this might affect their total household payment. The good news is that the new structure actually acknowledges these living arrangements in a way that previous stimulus packages didn't. This could mean significantly larger payments for families who have elderly parents living with them or adult children who have moved back home. Let's talk about the timing of these payments, because I know that's on everyone's mind. The rollout is planned to be more systematic than previous rounds, with specific distribution windows based on different factors. What's particularly interesting is how they're handling the payment schedule this time. Instead of the somewhat chaotic distribution we saw in earlier stimulus rounds, there's a more organized approach that should make it easier for everyone to know exactly when to expect their payment. One aspect that hasn't been widely reported yet is the new provisions for people who may have missed out on previous stimulus payments. I've been working with several viewers who never received earlier payments they were eligible for, and these new guidelines include a way to reconcile those missing payments alongside the new stimulus. This is particularly relevant for seniors who may have had changes in their filing status or living situations during previous rounds. The income thresholds have also been adjusted in a way that could benefit many middle-class families. I've created a detailed breakdown of these changes, and what's particularly interesting is how they've accounted for regional cost of living differences. This means that if you live in an area with a higher cost of living, your income threshold might be adjusted accordingly. This is a level of nuance we haven't seen in previous stimulus legislation. Another exciting development is the introduction of what they're calling supplemental support payments. These are additional amounts that could be available to certain groups who meet specific criteria. What's particularly interesting about these supplements is how they take into account factors like medical expenses and caregiving responsibilities. For many seniors who are dealing with significant healthcare costs, this could provide some much needed additional relief. Let's talk about the application process, because there have been some significant changes here as well. While many people will receive their payments automatically based on their tax returns or Social Security information, there are some situations where you might need to take additional steps. I've been helping viewers navigate this process, and I've discovered some important shortcuts that can help avoid common delays. One thing that's particularly important to understand is how these new stimulus payments might interact with other benefits you're receiving. I know many of you have expressed concern about whether accepting a stimulus payment could affect your Social Security, Medicare, or other benefits. I've done extensive research on this, and I can explain exactly how these payments are classified and why they won't negatively impact your other benefits. The new package also includes some interesting provisions for people who receive their benefits through Direct Express cards. This was a major issue in previous stimulus rounds, with many cardholders experiencing delays or complications. The good news is that these issues have been specifically addressed in the new guidelines, with improved processes for Direct Express recipients. Something that's particularly exciting about this round of stimulus is the inclusion of what they're calling recovery bonuses. These are additional amounts that might be available to people who can demonstrate specific financial hardships during the previous year. This could be especially relevant for seniors who have faced unexpected medical expenses or other financial challenges. Let's discuss the verification process, because this is something that's changed significantly from previous stimulus rounds. The good news is that for most people, especially those who regularly file taxes or receive Social Security benefits, the process will be largely automatic. However, there are some new verification requirements that could affect certain situations, and it's important to understand these to avoid any delays in receiving your payment. One aspect that I find particularly interesting is how they're handling situations where someone has moved or changed banks since their last tax filing. This was a major source of delays in previous rounds, but the new system includes some smart solutions for updating your information quickly and securely. I've helped several viewers navigate this process, and it's much smoother than it was in previous rounds. The new package also includes some interesting provisions for people who might have changed their filing status recently. This is particularly relevant for seniors who may have lost a spouse or gone through other significant life changes. The new guidelines provide specific instructions for these situations, and I want to make sure you understand exactly what steps you need to take. Something that hasn't received much attention in the mainstream media is the new appeals process for denied claims. While most people will receive their payments automatically, there are always some cases where things don't go as smoothly as they should. The new guidelines include a much clearer and more efficient process for appealing any denials or requesting reviews of payment amounts. Let's talk about the documentation requirements, because this is something that's changed significantly from previous rounds. While the basic process remains straightforward for most people, there are some situations where additional documentation might be needed. I've been helping viewers understand exactly what documents they might need to have ready, just in case they're requested. One particularly interesting aspect of this new stimulus package is how it handles situations where someone might be eligible for multiple types of payments. This could be especially relevant for seniors who might qualify for both the standard stimulus payment and various supplemental payments. Understanding how these different payments interact and what you need to do to ensure you receive everything you're eligible for is crucial. The new package also includes some innovative provisions for people who prefer to receive their payments in alternative formats. This could be particularly relevant for seniors who don't use traditional banking services or who prefer to receive their benefits in specific ways. The range of options has been expanded, and I want to make sure you understand all the choices available to you. Something that's particularly important to understand is the timeline for various aspects of this stimulus package. While some payments will begin rolling out immediately, other portions of the package will be implemented in phases. Understanding this timeline is crucial for planning purposes, and I've created a detailed breakdown of when different aspects will take effect. Let's discuss the reporting requirements, because this is something that's changed from previous stimulus rounds. While the payments themselves are tax-free, there are some situations where you might need to report them on future tax returns. I've been working with tax professionals to understand exactly how these requirements work and what you need to know to stay compliant. The new package also includes some interesting provisions for people who might have experienced changes in their dependent status. This could be particularly relevant for seniors who might have taken on caregiving responsibilities for grandchildren or other family members. The new guidelines provide specific instructions for these situations, and I want to make sure you understand exactly how to claim any additional amounts you might be eligible for. One aspect that I find particularly encouraging is how they're handling communication about these payments. Unlike previous rounds, where information was often confusing or contradictory, There's a much more organized system for keeping people informed about their payment status. I'll show you exactly how to access this information and what to do if you need updates about your specific situation. Let's talk about the security measures that have been put in place for this round of stimulus payments. Given the increased concerns about fraud and identity theft, there are some new safeguards that you should be aware of. While these measures are designed to protect you, it's important to understand how they work so they don't cause any unnecessary delays in receiving your payment. The new package also includes some innovative provisions for people who might need assistance in managing their stimulus payments. This could be particularly relevant for seniors who work with financial advisors or who have family members helping them manage their finances. The guidelines include specific procedures for authorized representatives, and I want to make sure you understand how these work. Something that hasn't received much attention is the new system for tracking missing or delayed payments. Unlike previous rounds, where it could be extremely difficult to get information about payment status, there's now a more streamlined process for investigating any issues. I've helped several viewers navigate this system successfully, and I can show you exactly what steps to take if you encounter any problems. Finally, let's discuss the long-term implications of these stimulus payments. While the immediate financial relief is obviously important, there are also some interesting provisions that could have longer-term benefits. Understanding how to make the most of these opportunities could help you strengthen your financial situation well beyond the immediate impact of the stimulus payment itself.